What's going on, you guys? What is going on, y'all? This be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday, and I intend on doing the exact same thing, y'all. What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day because I intend on doing that as well. All right, now before we get into anything, there is a possibility. Okay, so let me go ahead and say it because from what I was told, the Chasing panel will happen tonight. So be on the lookout for that. We will be covering tonight's episode of Chasing Dallas. So be on the lookout for that. And that's pretty much suggested that because that's it. We really don't have no more church announcements other than that. So be on the lookout for the Chasing panel tonight around 9 to 9:30. All right. All right, you guys. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the mess for today. So we're going to start this thing off with the loser shit. Okay, we're going to start it off with this right here. And that is Mr. Cameron. Y'all know Cameron. He used to be signed to Rockefeller. He had a real big song with Horse and Carriage. He also had a big hit song with the Old Boy record and Hey Ma. And I don't really think he had no big hit record ever since then. But whatever. He has a podcast, as you know. And then he asked this male escort about Cassie and Diddy. And the question was, how was that? See, which is the weirdest thing that you can ask somebody, okay? But we're gonna go ahead and get into it, y'all. Let me move this out the way so we can get into some things. All right. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's take a listen.
How was that pussy though?
I mean, bro, even if it was fire,
Bro, was the pussy good for family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy? How was that pussy, my nigga?
bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like I got a dude pacing back and forth,
Right.
beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And especially when I found out
Right.
it was Puff. When I
Right.
found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right?
Right.
There's rumors that he could be, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in. And I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, like, yo, hold up, wait, what did he just say? Like,
So basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay? You're saying?
absolutely not.
Right, nigga. How was that pussy though?
I I just can't. First of all, let's be clear. First of all right, let's be very clear. This is disgusting. It's disgusting. And I remember when it first came up on the neighborhood talk, I thought it was disgusting then. I feel like that is nothing that you should ask somebody. Like, it's one thing that you're interviewing the male escort that was involved in some of the freak offs that was going on with Cassie and Diddy. That's one thing that we're talking about. But now you're gonna ask him, how was that? See, and I get it. I know that's what some of the people were saying in the comments, like, oh, Cameron always say wild stuff like that. Cameron always say wild stuff like that. But at what point do you mature and be a grown-up about certain situations? Cameron sounds like a damn 19-year-old boy who ain't never had no motherfucking. I mean, I ain't never had none either, never been close to having none, let's be clear. But my thing is, I just cannot fathom what type of question is that, and why do you think that it was fucking okay to even ask that fucking question? And to be honest, I think that the escort that was being interviewed did a I guess he did a good job by not really going into it like that. But to be honest, I really felt like he should have just moved on after that. Ain't no way in the fuck I would have been able to finish off that interview with Cameron knowing that he asked me a question like that. And this is a person that's been victimized. And this is a person that's been, going through this shit publicly and have to go to court and have to deal with people really, re-traumatizing her all over again and all of this other stuff. So I really feel like it's crazy to even ask somebody a question like that. Like, it's really ridiculous, to be quite honest. And it's just like, no. You feel what I'm saying? I don't really like that. And it is what it is, to be honest. I don't really like that shit. Like, I just felt like that was completely disrespectful, completely distasteful, and just disgusting. But then again, there's a lot of men out there that act just like Cameron. So why am I not surprised? And there's a lot of men out there that ask those same stupid ass, weird ass fucking questions like Cameron does. Okay, so that's neither here nor is it the fuck there now, is it? Okay. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic, and that is Apollo Nida. Now, this has been in the news, okay, about how Apollo has found out that he discovered that he had a son that he never knew, during an interview with him. So he was saying in this interview, during a recent interview, Apollo Nida revealed how he learned that he had an additional son from a previous relationship. He explained that while he was in prison, he received photos from a woman, but usually passed them along to his cellmate. However, there was an instance where the images were swapped and forwarded to his spouse, Shireen Coates. She saw them and asked him about the woman before speculating that Apollo might have had an additional child. Apollo explained that his son reached out to him via DMs, alleging that they might be related. Following the exchange, Apollo confirmed the news with the DNA test through his mother while he was in prison. He further stated that since finding out, he has been on good terms with his long-lost son. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen. Let's get into it.
Sally, we're talking, and he's like, yo, do you have some kids out there you might not know about? And I was like, man, it's funny that you mentioned that, because sometimes I have this instinct, something just hits me. Like, it could just be a normal day and I get smacked over the head like by a feeling like you might. And my brother sometimes, he's like, yo, do you think there's another you out there somewhere? I was like, nah, just, Aiden and Dylan. I was like, nah. Wednesday comes, boom, I go to visit. I'm sitting in visit, and she's like, do you know a such and such, such and such? I'm like, yo.
Not again.
Chill out.
Come on.
This was last week. Like, I don't know what you're talking about this time. But she's like, no, think about it. Do you know such and such? I said, well, I know this person that has that name. I said, I know.
So she's asking you girls' names?
Yeah, I do. I know this particular girl. I just broke down in tears, bro. Right in the visitation. She's like, yo, I have some news for you. I was like, I already know. She's like, you have a son? I said, man, I knew it, man. I knew it. I was like, but.
Okay, this is crazy.
It was wild. She's like, and from what I see, like, she was like, yo, the mannerisms, like, he looks like you, She was like, I was like, well, how did you find this out? And she was like,
that's what I'm about to ask. Like, so, like, how do you just get this information? Somebody come knock on her door, like.
No, she used to. So my management, they used to monitor my my Instagram and stuff.
Oh, while you're away and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a DM from someone that was like, hey, I just want to know if you might be my dad, my long lost father out there.
Hold on. Hold on.
I'm reaching out.
So the kid reached out?
Yeah, the kid.
What in the world?
Yeah, he reached out. He was like, yo, you might. He's like, man, I was looking in the mirror and
I see you on the TV.
Yeah, he's like, man, it was weird because I'm like, what?
So they did ask for a DNA test.
No, I need to figure this out.
Okay.
Like, this is real. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm
get. How you get a DNA test from in prison though?
So I had to get my mom. I was like, they could do it through the grandparent. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, so the grandparent, my mom went and met the individual. That was confirmed. We spoke on the phone, and I was just like, hey, you want to come up here, come see me, da 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 da. And he was like, yeah, you know, how you do it? I said, you got to get on the visitation list. So, you know, the kid was pretty smart. So he, you know, went on the Bureau's site, mailed in all the proper documents. And then next thing you know, I think he came with Shireen, winds up picking him up from the airport or whatnot. And the guy comes to the visit, man. And when I seen him, I was just in awe, man. For real. I broke down crying again. I gave him a hug. I was just like,
So you've seen it, like as soon as you've seen it.
yeah, man. I did. I was like, whoa, this is something else. This was, dude. Yeah, it was definitely a shift. I was like,
Going on, it's a lot of moving pieces. When's the last time you spoke to this person?
well, I mean, you really want to know?
Yeah, no, like for real. That's
I'm speaking to him right now.
what you mean.
I'm speaking. You're the guy.
Oh, what you mean?
You're the guy.
Yeah. Well, nobody gonna tell me I'm interviewing my father today?
Man.
Y'all wasn't gonna say nothing? What you mean? Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah. That's how it's done. You're speaking to him right now.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for reaching out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It had to be done.
Definitely.
It's been a hell of a process, right? A hell of a process.
Crazy process. Marcelli, you know, we're talking and he's like, yo, do you have some kids out there you might not know about?
So that was Apollo, and he was sitting there with his son doing an interview. And I feel like that is the craziest thing ever. You know, when you hear about these long lost stories, it's always like a bittersweet situation. You know, it's the happiness of you finding out that you have a son out there or a daughter out there or just a child period out there that you didn't know anything about. But then you go into the situation and then you think about all of the time and all of the years that you missed with this person. And it's like I said, it's a very bittersweet situation. But what I'm happy about is the fact that Apollo and his long lost son have built a relationship. As far along in life as it is, the relationship has been built and they still got a ways to go. I don't know how long it's been since he found this son, but they do have a ways to go. I know Apollo missed a whole lot of his life. And I know that that can be a lot for a person to deal with and a lot for a person to, you know, settle for. But I'm all for people making amends and just, you know, dealing with things in the way that they should. And I know that I talk big shit about Apollo because he ain't shit worth a damn. Like, he just not. But however, I love the way that he handled this situation and the way he explained it. And I'm very curious to know that since he found out about this son, I want to know, does this particular son have a relationship with his younger brothers, which is Aiden and Mr. President? I'm really, really interested and intrigued to know what their relationship is like. Does Phaedra allow those boys to be around this new son that Apollo has? And I also want to know, how old was Apollo when this son was born? And how old is this son? And how old is Apollo? Because I don't know if he's younger than Phaedra or not. I know that Phaedra is nearing 50 or whatever, if she ain't already there. But yeah, I'm very interested in this. But shout out to Apollo for making things right and, you know, building that relationship with his son. That's amazing. I just say keep it up, continue to get to know him and just, you know, make it work the way that you know how. So I'm always here for families reuniting and it feels so good. You know, I'm a very much so family oriented person. So I love to see it. You know, I really do. I love to see it. So anyway, we're about to go ahead and get into the very next topic, which is Latasha Scott. Once again, we're going to go ahead and get back into Latasha Scott. Now, Latasha Scott talks about the truth about her being kicked out of the group Escape, honey. Now, that's what she says that is the truth. So we're going to go ahead and get into that, and then we'll be back.
Before the verses happened, I was very intentional with making that happen. You know, I even went on to tell Coco, hey, let's go online and let's have this kind of back and forth. You know, I sing one of your songs, you sing one of our songs.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help get the verses. And I said, then who knows, we could probably do a tour. So I was always I don't want to say intuitive with that, but I always felt like that was a
You
need
had a
for us to
vision. You were always a visionary. with that,
definitely.
Yeah.
And so when I told her, she was like, "Girl," and she ended up doing it. I did it, and then after that, the verses happened. So immediately, the phone started to ring, and I was like, "Okay, we're getting somewhere. We may one day do a tour," which end up leading to a TV show. And normally, when you do TV, it kind of helps to spearhead a lot of things. And I was excited about the TV show because I was like, okay, we're finally going to do some stuff together. The world to see two super groups who weathered the storm, still here 30 years. I think there's a 31 years. I think that, yeah, they came out before us. So I was like, who better to do it than us? And then to come to find out that, yeah, no, they didn't want me. And I'm like, I spearheaded all this. So I can't be a part of what this is. And the group just nobody was talking to me at that time. Not my group members weren't, but the other group members were.
So this communication rift that started off
Years
coming
ago.
off the second album, you all were kind of lacking communication.
Yep.
Now fuels you guys into this new season of you guys are still not talking and communicating
Yeah. And
with
then
one another.
I'll say this, even in between the breaks, we did have somebody that was trying to take the biopic from us, like talk about our story, and the girls felt like nobody could tell our story like we can. And
Because you all
I
did an
agree.
unsung. You
We
all
did.
did
We talked about that.
yeah,
Like,
on
yeah.
unsung.
And so they were trying to compile all of this information and tell the story about Escape. Nobody knows the story of Escape except Escape. And so I got a call from my sister. She goes, "Hey, the girls called me. They said, don't talk to nobody. People are trying to get our story." So it brought us together to talk about that. And once we started to talk about that, I was out of town on the West Coast. And then they called me and said that they were on the Big Ticker show. And they said Escape is back together. And I was like, Escape is back together? I knew nothing of it. I just knew that we didn't like what was happening, but I didn't know we were back together. And so the fans started to weigh in like, oh my God, the TV show happened. We did Still Kicking It.
Mm-hmm.
Got through that time. We still didn't talk a lot. It was cameras on, let's go. And so we still weren't able to talk about, what the problems really were. We kind of touched on a couple of things. And after that, we went on tour.
But I felt like when I watched that show versus the last reality show you all
Mhm.
did, it seemed like there was a split between Candy and Tiny and you and your sister. It kind of felt like the line was kind of between team sisters, team Candy and Tiny. And then when the new reality show came, it appeared to me, just to me, that you were the outlier at that point.
Well, I think when Still Kicking It came on, I could say for myself that Tiny and I became closer. We had, we were always the closest ones anyway in the group. And so we started to talk more, started to spend more time together. I was always there for her, in certain times that she needed, and vice versa. So I didn't see the two-way split. I felt like we started to communicate more, she and I. And our husbands, they started to get together and talk. We had family night. There was a lot of things that were going on, during that time. But I didn't see that part of it. But I do know that when things started to escalate for the last show, yes, I was definitely on the out. It was 7 women. I just didn't understand how 7 women turned into one person being scrutinized and kind of placed. I was just ostracized to me in that way.
I mean, I saw one of the interviews, and then I've read this in some of the publications that have come out about this. When the tour was announced and you were trying to figure out what was going on, you had your lawyer send a letter to the group to see if what was this tour, what was happening with this tour.
Yeah.
Did
No
you
response.
do you feel like there was some opportunity for you to just pick up the phone and call them, or was a lawyer necessary?
Well, the lawyer was very necessary because you already have dates. You already have your infringement rights on the trademark. It was so many different things that I didn't
Because you
want
own
to
the
talk.
trademark. You own the trademark
Do.
of Escape.
My sister and I, yes.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like you guys are not talking to me, and you guys are having meetings. Coco was in Atlanta for a meeting that was called for them to have communication to squash the differences, but I was never called. So she calls me and says, "Hey, they flew me in. Are you going to be here?" And I said, "Beware. We're having a meeting." They called this big meeting downtown, and I was not invited. And I told her I know nothing of it. So she said, "Let me find out about it. I'll call you back." She calls me back and says, "Yeah, they're trying to do the tour. We squashed the differences. We all said what it was. I hate that you weren't there. What is going on? I told her, I don't know. She said, they're not talking to you still. I mentioned, why aren't y'all talking to her? Don't worry about this. Basically our business. So they didn't want to get into why they weren't talking to me. And after that, it's like, okay, I sent a lawyer to make sure that legally you guys understood that I didn't know anything about the tour. Who was going to call me. Live Nation was on the letter. Mona Me was on the letter. All the people that were involved were on the letter. It wasn't to the group to say, you know, anything crazy. Is y'all not telling me nothing. I didn't know nothing about the tour. And the fans, I never wanted to disappoint them. It's like, y'all don't know what's really going on. So y'all thinking I'm quitting, that I'm a diva, that I said I never quit the group. Never.
You have never quit the group.
Never quit the group.
Even to this day.
Never quit the group.
You have never quit the group.
No. They just choose to move on in the way that they're moving on without me. So yeah, you get your legal involved. It's not just a conversation anymore. You guys are doing more than too much.
So if given the opportunity, if there's some conversations that happen and communication becomes a thing again, would you sing with the group again?
I mean, that's the group that I started out singing with. Like, why wouldn't I want to sing? Do you think I'm going through all these lengths to do what? Do you get lawyers? You know how much, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
To get lawyers involved to just sit back and be like, what? That I don't want to sing, that I don't want to be on the stage and give the fans what they're used to, that I don't want to sing the soundtracks to their lives, what they know.
Because you are a missing link on for them on stage, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, those are my sisters at the end of the day. Like, nobody wants to be kicked out of it, a situation that you started, that you created. You don't want to be kicked out. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know.
I can imagine that has got to be a little hurtful, though.
A lot hurtful.
Yeah.
You got your sister in the group. You got 2 other girls who you grew up with, and nobody calls. They say they don't have the number. Yes, they do.
I told you before we got started, because I want everybody to know I went over all of these things and questions with you before we started. So she is not being like, oh, here go Brandy trying to be no. We talked about this.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I brought up to you.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw the video and heard your sister called into the Ricky Smiley Morning Show.
Yes.
If that blessed.
Okay, so I think that Latasha is still full of shit. She's still full of shit, and I feel like it's never going to be right with her and her sister. I feel like it's never going to be right with her and Tiny. I feel like it's never going to be right with her and Candy, because she will not take any accountability for the part that she plays. And the reason why is 3 members in Escape and she's not there. You came on that reality show, this last reality show that y'all did, which was great, by the way. That's the show that a lot of people found me from. You did that, and then, you know what I'm saying? You chose to ditch them, get a solo album, because you thought that you was better and that you was all that. Like, that's what the fuck you thought. And when it didn't work out for you, now you're saying, oh, I never quit the group. That was my group. I started off with their group. Their group is my baby. I never wanted to leave the group. I never ever wanted to leave the group. That's what you're saying now. But when you thought that group was no longer beneficial for your ass, you really chose to walk away and do this gospel album. And when you realize that this gospel album really wasn't finna do not a damn thing for you, that's when you chose to be like, yeah, girl, I need to get back with the group. Now you want to call your lawyers for, copyright infringement. Escape is not doing anything wrong by going forward without you. Tamika also owns the trademark of Escape. So therefore, she's in the group. She's a part of the group. She's still taking it on. So at the end of the day, if she wants to keep the group going, keep on getting shows, keep on getting money or whatever, she can do that. I don't understand why you feel like it would be a fucking issue. Why would it be a damn issue? You want the money. You want the checks. You the one who told them girls, I'm not performing with y'all. But when I'm done doing my solo stuff, I will let y'all know. So what does everybody else supposed to do? Stop getting money? You did this shit back in 98 when it was time for you to do your solo album. That's what you chose to do. You wanted a solo album. You wanted to lead a group because you thought that you was bigger and better than the motherfucking group, and you realized that you wasn't. So what you gonna do now? You know that group is way more beneficial to you. You know you make your best money with that fucking group. You know that. So why you acting like you don't? Why you acting like you don't? I don't understand. I just need for Latasha to really take accountability and stop trying to play victim, because you are the reason why you're in the situation that you're in when it comes down to this group. You are the reason. You can miss the checks, you can miss singing with the group all the fuck you want to, but until you take out that time to take responsibility, we don't give a fuck. So let's move on to Jennifer and Shaunie. Now the heat is getting hot with the Basketball Wives, honey. And if y'all not watching this season, I suggest y'all watch. It's a little bit of a hit and miss, I will say that, but there are some things that's good to talk about and good to watch. Now, Miss Jennifer Williams has some things to say to Shaunie O'Neal. She calls out Shaunie for not checking Evelyn. She claims that the show edits episodes in favor of Evelyn, which is some shit that I've been saying for many, many years. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we're finna play it right now. Let's talk about it.
Because I know, well, it's so much I have to discuss. But anyway, yeah, I just feel like I get it, like that's your girl, but you should also call her on bullshit too. And I feel like we never see her do that. Evelyn's in the wrong a lot, and Shaunie does not check her. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, and let me tell you something. The network, y'all need to stop with the bullshit, because once again, you put up the back and forth with Evelyn and Armani and Auntie, and you continue to blur out that Evelyn called Auntie a cunt. Like, what are you protecting her for?
Yeah,
she called her a cunt.
Y'all are the problem. Y'all are the problem, because y'all protect this woman. And we know the real. We have the screenshots. We have the paper trail of
what really happened.
Her coming from my aunt. My aunt wouldn't want to come for this woman just off GP. Like, she's coming for this woman because she got invited, accepted the invitation, and then now Evelyn want to fold up in fetal position, like, oh, I'm scared. Why won't y'all defend me? She attacked me. Like, nobody want to hear all that. Like, we're gonna call you out on your BS, because that's nuts.
Yeah, that's when the bully gets bullied, it's not so fun, huh? But you could talk shit about everybody else. But the minute somebody say something about you, oh, why didn't you defend me? I would never let anybody talk about you. Girl, bye. And I don't even want to talk about her, because she's like, in her words, a non-factor.
Yeah, I mean, she treading on thin ice, because like I'm gonna keep it real. There's only so many buttons you could push for me when you talk about my wife.
Because I know.
And that was Jennifer and Christian not only calling out Shaunie O'Neal, but also calling out VH1, the network, and saying that they are, protecting Evelyn and editing the show in favor of Evelyn and all of those things. So I got a couple of things to say about that. Let's start it off with Jennifer. We already knew how Shaunie was. You knew how Shaunie was. We all been calling out Shaunie for showing favoritism. We all have said that Shaunie don't do shit but protect Evelyn. We've all seen that. We've all seen it, and we all said it. When you was in the clique, you didn't have an issue with that because it was beneficial to you to be a part of it. And you was not the one that they was attacking all the time, but you watched them attack other people and do that shit to other motherfucking people. You saw that shit and you didn't say anything about it. So my thing is, why should I, Scotty, by nature, TV, feel any sympathy for you in this situation when you've been a part of the bully gang your damn self, and that you have watched them, you have been there as a secondary bully when Shaunie and Evelyn do their bullshit. Shaunie stopped liking you a long damn time ago, Jennifer, when it was revealed that you was the one that said that Evelyn was fucking Shaq. She ain't liked you since then, and you know she ain't. So I don't even understand why you acting surprised as to why she's acting the way that she does and why she's doing the shit that she does. Evelyn been protected on this damn network, and I feel like Evelyn is the real damn villain. Even when other people look like they're doing worse than her on this show, she still comes. I feel like it's really Evelyn, because at the end of the day, we already seen it with OG, and that's another thing. And I hate it when we're talking about this show and that we have to constantly bring up OG, but OG is a prime example as to how these shows can sometimes manipulate these situations to make another person look bad. If it wasn't for OG recording those conversations without them knowing why they were filming, we never would have got the full grasp of everything. All they do is show OG react, and they never show what actually happened to make her react the way that they did. The way that they set up there and made OG look like she was just this violent person, very aggressive, when Evelyn has jumped over tables, hit people with clutch purses, jumping across tables, throwing glasses at people, throwing wine bottles, placing all that stuff at people. But now she's scared to be on the same stage with somebody that meets her with the same energy. Like they've been protecting Evelyn. What fucking part don't y'all understand? If you going on the show and you already know what the fuck they do, you know they bully bitches, you know they sit up there and protect the biggest bitch on the motherfucking show, and y'all want to act like y'all don't get it when y'all get involved in it. You already know what's going on. Jennifer, you've been a part of this damn show since it fucking started. They don't respect you. Let's be clear. They don't respect you. They never respected you. So I don't understand why you sitting up here acting dumb. You already know what it's giving. You already know what it is. They don't respect you, girl. They don't see it for you, girl. They don't like you, girl. Why are you acting like you don't realize and understand that bullshit? You already know what it's giving. You know that they don't fuck with you. You know they clown you. You know they don't see you as anything seriously. They take you as a fucking non-factor. They don't show you any respect when you was a part of this show from the jump, just like they were. Shaunie don't like nobody but Evelyn. Shaunie would twist their neck and turn you around real quick for her motherfucking ass, okay? So I don't even know why you sitting up here saying, oh, why doesn't Shaunie call Evelyn out on her shit? She know that Evelyn be doing wrong to people and Shaunie never calls it out. She ain't never called it out. When have you ever been on an episode with them and you ever seen Shaunie call Evelyn out on her shit? You never seen it, and it's never gonna fucking happen. That's what makes the show not enjoyable, because there is no even ground here. They protect who they want to. So Jennifer missed me with it, but I'm here for you calling Shaunie out. And I do want to know how Shaunie in the network feels. And I do want to know if you're going to return next season with you calling them out. I do want to know that. But okay, Jennifer, speak your mind. It took you to get you some more scammer dick for you to have a backbone. But okay, I ain't really mad at you, girl. You know, get your little scammer dick and, you know, get your little backbone and do whatever you feel, girl. But whatever, we're gonna move on to the last story of the day, and I don't think that we're gonna be on this for too long, but we're gonna be talking about Halle and DDG. Now, you know, it's been a whole lot of going on with these two, honey. But DDG's mama then came out and said that Halle Bailey placed multiple air tags in DDG's vehicles, claims that Halle allegedly popped up on DDG while he was at the movies with a female friend and tried to fight the woman. Okay, now this is what the story states. It says a declaration from DDG's mother, Tanya Granberry, has surfaced. She claims to have found multiple Apple AirTags in DDG's vehicles, allegedly implanted by Halle Bailey. Tanya claims that the first AirTag was discovered in June of 2023 under the back seat of DDG's Maybach. It was found after Halle popped up on DDG while he was at the movies with a female friend. She says that Halle called her upset, claiming that she was about to fuck him up. Alleges that Halle tried to fight the female friend, claiming she had to step in and de-escalate the situation. The next day, after being confused on how she knew his location, they searched the vehicle and found the AirTag. Days later, her fiance, who also happens to be DDG's driver, kept getting notifications about being tracked by the AirTag. He searched the Escalade and they were in and found it in the trunk area. But it doesn't stop there. She went on to allege that another AirTag was found on the same Escalade about 3 weeks later. This time, it was concealed in a vitamins pill bottle. A fourth AirTag was found in April of 2024 after Halo's birth. She claims that she personally found it hidden underneath the cardboard lining of a diaper bag. This one was designed for pets. She took photos of each AirTags that were found and went on to claim that Halle left a box of AirTags at DDG's home after she moved out following Halo's birth. She is willing to testify and claims that this caused DDG emotional distress and created concerns for his safety, especially after the behavior that she witnessed at the movie theaters. Okay, I don't believe this for 1 second. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Well, I already see it. So number 3, I think I already saw that. Okay, let me see what else is going on. Okay, so that's what they looking at. Okay, there go the AirTags, and that's the pet AirTag. Okay, so that's what they're claiming. They're claiming that Halle was an emotional wreck trying to fight a woman and all that other stuff, and that she was stalking DDG and everything else like that. And I'm looking at the comments, and everybody's saying that they don't believe it. What I'm gathering from this is that she was pregnant, he was cheating on her. They claimed that he was at a movie theater with a female friend and she went to go fight and all this other stuff. I feel like this. Halle went to a theater to fight somebody. Don't you think somebody would have recorded that shit and sent it to the blogs? You feel what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I just think that his mama is on that boy mom bullshit. And what I mean by boy mom bullshit, she's the type of mom that will sit there and uphold their son in whatever shenanigans that he's in. And I think that that's really bullshit, honestly. I feel like that's crazy. I don't like it. And that's fucked up. I don't believe not a word that DDG is saying. I don't believe a word his mama is saying. Now, I ain't saying that Halle is innocent or anything like that. I promise you I don't. But I feel like he's one of those men that have pushed her into a situation that she normally wouldn't be in. Sometimes when you be involved with a man and they put you through so much stress and all this other shit, they will push you into doing things that you wouldn't normally do. Trust and believe me. I know, but this ain't about me. But that can definitely happen. And I think that's what happened. But I think he only putting this shit out here to try to save himself. But it ain't working out in no kind of way for him at all. But that's all I really had on Halle and DDG, because I'm pretty sure that there's more that they got going on and more that's going to come up. So we'll talk about it as we go along. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I hope you guys enjoyed it with your lunch today. I really appreciate you guys watching. Of course, as I stated already, I have a whole lot of stuff coming up for you guys. I got a book coming out. I got the rest of my edits. I picked out my book cover for it. So it's going to be amazing. I'm on a web reality show right now. We're filming it right now. Should be coming out later on this year. And me and Josiah have a new podcast that we're working on called Bestie Chat with Scotty and Josiah. And it will be on his channel. So support us in all that we do. With that being said, you guys, this be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, y'all, your boy's up out of here, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.
On some whole shit. What happened to the Zeus fame? Then Bobby made you change your name. For a show, still searching for a ring. Pray these hoes find better days. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Nobody. Nigga never was a real one. Copping, please, spreading lies. What you hiding from? All these shows just an extra.
Little dance now, twerking on shit like
bad bitch, munch it up, cock goblin. Slapping ass on this dick, cock goblin. Gobble up this dick, bitch, a cock goblin. Fuck him in his face, bitch, a cock goblin.
Attitude bad, but I'm better. Ass poke out just fatter.